I'm Lee Feltano,
the internet's fuzziest music fan,
and we're here with the Hello Family Tree.
In the late 1990s, there wasn't much video game music outside of video games themselves. Ozma had their cover of the Tetris music, but it was styled after the original Russian folk song rather than being a cover of the Tetris song itself. Before the terms Nintendocore and chiptune, before the ubiquity of classic video game nostalgia taking form of video game music on vinyl, gimmicky Marvel comic book covers, and orchestral concerts playing the scores for Zelda, there was generic. Nick Rogers, Forrest Harding, and a drum machine played 8-bit Nintendo songs, using software that could pull apart the audio files from the games into respective 4 tracks of triangle, square, saw, and noise. They could isolate these tracks and figure out the guitar parts by ear. They came across the radar of Spencer Seim, who had been wanting to start such a band. Spencer joined the duo, replacing the drum machine for the real deal, and they became Generic. Eventually they added Cassie Stewart on bass, and Generic became a quartet. Generic released 2 albums that are currently on Bandcamp, Rad Dude and Gay Nerd. And they also had a track on the 5RC label compilation. If the 21st century didn't exist, it would be necessary to invent it. Eventually, due to life and stuff, the lineup changed, and Spencer and Nick were joined by Ben Milner and Carson McWhirter. They rechristened themselves after the arcade-style controller for the NES. This is the Hello Family Tree Episode 3, The Advantage. The Advantage is just a great band. They don't rely on any gimmicks like turning up the volume of any distinct genre or playing with too many distracting effects pedals. This band's pure technicality is on display here. The staccato, the legato, the hammer-ons, the accents. When I worked as a fry cook at a burger restaurant, the Advantage CDs were on the kitchen CD player quite often. It was easy for everyone to agree on. It didn't sound too aggressive, but it was full of energy. Not too metal, but still full of technical dexterity. If you knew the games, you're like, hey, I know that song. And if you don't, you're like, hey, that's a nice melody. There's been a lot of texts dedicated to video game music over the past few years that analyze this stuff much better than I could on a musical level, discussing how the composers work within the limitations of the 8-bit system to create the soundtracks they did. There's even a 33 1/3 book about Koji Kondo's Super Mario Bros. Music, which goes deep within the analysis. As far as the music goes, I don't have much more to say other than it sounds great and the music is fun. I got to see The Advantage play live once in Lubbock, Texas. It was a 6-hour drive, one way, and they were great. Instead of a track-by-track for this album, we're going to go deep into the discographies of the band members of The Advantage. Disclaimer, I'm going to miss something. I'll rectify such errors in a future episode. Level 1. Spencer Seim, drums. Spencer Seim, of course, is the guitarist from Hella, and therefore one of the gravitational bodies around which the Hella family tree revolves. But not to leave Spencer's catalog out of the discussion. Spencer played guitar in Legs on Earth with Zach and Josh Hill. Spencer played drums and other instruments in Croc with Sam Coombs of Quasi. Spencer played drums in Byre with Rob Crow from Pinback and the Ladies, the subjects of Hello Family Tree Episode 2. Spencer also played drums and solos with Aaron Ross, the subject of Hello Family Tree Episode 1. Spencer put together a live band to perform his solo album Spock, who went on tour with Pinback at some point. Spencer played drums, and the band also included Ben Milner on guitar. Level 2. Ben Milner, guitar. Ben Milner has a lot of credits doing production and tech work for other artists as well as modding effects pedals, which is always cool. Ben Milner was in Shapes Freely, a musical collaboration with Brooke Caballero and Jessica Henry. It's a nice, dreamy, gentle psychedelic album. Ben Milner was also featured on the Everything Lasts Forever album from Sam Miller and his friends. I discovered this album 5 minutes before recording this video. I haven't even listened to it yet outside of the track called Fraggle Rock out of Puppet-Based Curiosity. It's a free download, so check it out. Milner was also part of the Alloy, which released Tech-Mex, which sounds like a baby made by Radiohead's OK Computer and Weezer's Pinkerton and raised by Nirvana's Insecticide compilation.
I am now the laughing stock of everyone I know. You ruined me completely.
The Alloy also featured Bill Kiley, a video game composer of such titles as A King's Tale, Final Fantasy XV, Katana Zero, Pause Ahead, The Valley Rule, A Kitty Dream, and more. Yeah. Ben Milner was also a guitarist in the Spock Live Band with Spencer Seim on drums. Level 3. Carson McWhirter, bass. Carson McWhirter is featured on quite a few albums here. We got the Toughguy Fantasy Arctic Boys double album. He was the bassist for Hella during the There's No 666 in Outer Space era with Zach and Josh Hill. He played on the Astrological Straits tracks Toll Road and Hindsight is Nowhere. He played on the Face Tat track off the Face Tat album. He performs on the Flossin releases White Anaconda and the Rainbow Boa and the Serpents EP. And he has a recording credit for the Joanna Newsom harp track on the first Nervous Cop album. McWhirter was a member of Zach Hill's Holy Smokes band with Spencer Seim and Dan Elkin. I can't find any footage of Holy Smokes playing live. Does anyone have it? Please upload it. Please upload the footage of the Holy Smokes live band. That sounds incredible. Carson McWhirter also has all his solo releases. Check them out on his Bandcamp page, and some of his guitar performances were captured on video and can be seen on YouTube. And there's a great interview with Carson on the 440 Guitar Podcast. After the first Advantage album is recorded, Nick Rogers ends up departing the band and Robbie Moncrief steps in to pick up shredding duties. Level 4, Robbie Moncrief, guitar. Robbie Moncrief is a regular collaborator with Zach Hill, having performed on 4 songs on Zach Hill's Astrological Straits: Toll Road, Uhuru, Momentum, and Astrological Straits with Zach and Josh Hill. Moncrief played on and co-wrote the corrosively catchy Burner in the Video off Zach Hill's Face Tat. Moncrief also played on Zach Hill's Lil Scuzzy EP, which also has Nick Reinhardt credited. Both Robbie Moncrief and Nick Reinhardt are in Zach Hill's current band Undo K from Hot, which will be the subject of the Hella Family Tree episode 6. Robbie Moncrief has a solo album out with Zach Hill, Who Do You Think You Aren't? Robbie also played bass in Marnie Stern's early backing band with Zach Hill, and Robbie has another name he makes music under, Raleigh Moncrief. More hip-hoppy stuff, more electronic, produced material. He even has an album out under the iconic Anticon label. The Advantage have 2 albums, some EPs and several live albums released, although it seems they blip in and out of existence on their Bandcamp page. Possible legal stuff from the copyright owners? I don't know. I hope not. Go buy it and download it. Support musicians. Give them money. Abolish prisons. I'm Lee Feltano, the internet's fuzziest music.